Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're bringing you issue 68 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest today, which comes with a second Haemotrope Reactor terrain piece. And as always, if you want to skip straight ahead to the battle report, there will be a timecode in the description for you to do so. But having a look inside the issue, we start with Annals of the Space Wars, which is more history of the Space Wars chapter. So this is now up into the 41st millennium and the things that have been going on more recently in the history. Then we have the Iron Hand's successor chapters. There's 3 examples here and another one which apparently is classified by order of the Inquisition, so I don't know what that's all about. And then some more history here, the Moire Schism, which is something that split the Iron Hands in half. Then we have more Eldari. We've got the Harlequins this time, who are, well, they've dedicated themselves to serving the laughing god Kegorak, who was the only Eldari god to survive the birth of the Chaos god Slaanesh. They go around putting on plays effectively for the other Eldari, but they're also sworn foes of Chaos, and they combat them wherever possible. There's some of their special characters who are effectively characters in the play. Effectively, there's the Shadow Seers, the Death Jesters, and the Solitaire. Something about the Black Library as well, which is a hidden library of knowledge, and then some model showcases and everything. They're the army for you if you like painting tiny little diamond patterns. You can see they're all very sort of acrobatically posed, and here's some other variant colour schemes for different troops. Then we have Silver Templars Lieutenant Keltos, who is a lieutenant of the 4th Company, and this is the story of how he earned his name and was promoted to lieutenant. And there's his sword Mercy, and he has a heavy bolt pistol called Absolution as well. Then of course we've got the Haemotrope Reactor build instructions, obviously the same as the previous one, and the same with the painting instructions. So there's a little bit more to it than the last time we got one because we've learnt some more techniques. Yeah, so not much new there.
Pretty much exactly the same as the previous one.
Anyway, that's all for this issue, so we'll be on to our mission for you now.
So, on to our mission for this issue. We're off to the city of Steelheim. It's actually just to the north-ish of Meyerfurt, where we were last week, where the Death Guard are trying to overload the city's Haemotrope Reactors and deny them to the Space Marines, and the Space Marines are obviously trying to stop them. So we head into our mission, Plasma Overload. So you can see we have the battlefield set up, so we have the 3 battle mats. And then we have our 2 Haemotrope Reactors, but there's one 12 inches on from the join of the 2 mats, as you can see. And we have our deployment zones. There's a sort of triangle along the short edge and a bit along the long edge of opposite corners. We get to pick 2 armies with a maximum power rating of 40, with no restrictions, so absolutely anything's allowed, and we have 3 command points each. And for deployment, we roll off, and the winner chooses their deployment zone. And then we alternate deploying our units, beginning with the player who chose their deployment zone. And then once all units are deployed, the player who finished setting up first can choose to go first or second. And on victory conditions, each objective is worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. It doesn't explicitly state, but I assume the Haemotrope Reactors are the objectives. And you also get a victory point for being the first player to kill an enemy unit, so first blood, and a victory point for slaying the enemy warlord, and the game lasts for 5 battle rounds. So with that over, we'll go into the army overviews and then into the battlefield and deployment. So here's our Space Marine army for this mission. It totals 40 power. So in the front we have the Captain and Gravis armour for 7 power, the Primaris Ancient for 5 power, the Primaris Apothecary for 4 power, and there's 2 squads of 5 Intercessors for 5 power each, the Land Speeder for 6 power, and it has the multi-melter and the missile launchers, and then a squad of Hellblasters for 8 power. And my Warlord will be the Captain and Gravis armour, and his Warlord trait will be Champion of Humanity. And here's our Death Guard army. So in the front we have Lord Felthius, because we haven't seen him for a while. He costs 7 power. There's the Noxious Blightbringer, he costs 4 power. There's 2 squads of 5 Plague Marines, which are 7 power each. This squad on the left has 2 Blight Launchers, and the Champion has a Plasma Gun and a Power Fist. And the squad on the right has a Plasma Gun, and a Champion with a Plasma Gun and a Power Fist, and the Icon of Despair. Then we have a squad of 10 Cultists for 3 power. The Plague Burst Crawler for 8 power with the Heavy Slugger and Entropy Cannons, and finally the Chaos Rhino for 4 power. So for a total of 40 power.
And my Warlord will be Lord Felthius, and he's going to have good old Revoltingly Resilient for the 4+, Disgustingly Resilient.
So we'll have a quick overview of the battlefield, and you can see we've marked out the deployment zones with dice in the corners, and we've got our 2 objectives, the Haemotrope Reactors. So there's one Haemotrope Reactor just to the northwest of the middle of the board, and the other one just to the southeast. And in the middle we've got this big piece of area terrain, and there's another ruin over on the left, top left, and one down here in the bottom right. So now we roll off to decide deployment zones. So we're going to roll off and the winner gets to pick which deployment zone they have. I'm going to 6.
2.
So I'm going to pick this deployment zone down here in the bottom left. But now we start deploying 1 unit at a time, and I start because I've won the roll-off. So we finish deploying. So down here I have a squad of intercessors, and then the other squad of intercessors next to them with the hellblasters behind. Then we've got the captain, the apothecary and the ancient in amongst the infantry, and the land speeder over on my left flank.
And then over on my side I've got the Rhino here, and it has all 10 Plague Marines in it. The Noctis Blightbringer next to it, and then the cultists over here, and the Plague Burst Crawler over there, and Lord Felthius is in the teleportarium.
Okay, and the Death Guard finished deploying first, so would you like to go first or second?
I'm going to go first, I think.
Okay, so we'll head into Death Guard, turn 1.
We'll start off with advancing my Rhino. It's next to the Blightbringer, so we get to roll 2 dice. I pick the best, 6 inches, so it goes to 18. So that's enough to make it zoom all the way over here.
Yeah.
We're going to advance the Blightbringer. No, we're going to advance the cultists next, because they're within 7 of the Blightbringer at the moment, so they do get the extra die, so an extra 3 inches. So they've moved up like that as a kind of screen in front of the Plague Burst Crawler, which has moved up behind them, and also next to those ammo boxes, might be useful. Finally, we'll advance the Blightbringer himself, so 2 dice picking the best, another 5, so 10 inches for him. And that gets him to there, he's trying desperately to keep up with the Rhino. So, on to the shooting phase. We're going to... Well, the only thing that can shoot is the Plague Burst Crawler. But before I do that, I'm actually going to fire the smoke launchers on the Rhino, just in case any Hellblasters can see it, shoot back with a banner if they die or something like that. Because right, so now it's going to shoot. The entropy cannons and the heavy slugger are just in range of the closest squad of intercessors, so we'll shoot them, and then the Plague Burst mortar will put on the Hellblasters.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a command point for blasphemous machines, which means it ignores the penalty for moving and shooting with heavy weapons. So down to 2. Start with the 2 entropy cannons, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, thanks to the ammo box. Nope, double 2. And a heavy slugger, 4 shots on 4s, rerolling 1s. Nope, 2 hits, wounding on 3s. 2, minus 1.
So 4 plus. Maybe one failed one. So intercessor takes a wound. Put on this guy at the end.
And then d6 shots from the Plague Burst Mortar, 5, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, that's 4, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s, that's strength 8, ooh, that's 4 wounds at AP minus 2.
So 5 plus armor saves, made 1, failed 3.
The d3 damage each, so first one, 3, second one, 2, and the last one, 1. So yeah, I'll take that, so that's 2.5 dead Hellblasters.
Yeah, so I'm going to take away these 2 on the end, and then there's the wounded one.
But that will be the end of my turn, because I don't see no charging or anything, so yeah.
On to Space Marines, turn 1. So here I've finished all my movement. The captains come round with this intercessor squad over here. The other intercessor squad and Hellblasters have moved up with the Ancient and the Apothecary, and the Land Speeder has moved up just a bit to get the multi-motor in range of the Rhino. And at the end of the movement phase, the Apothecary will heal this wounded Hellblaster, and then it'll be on to the shooting phase. So I'll start with the Land Speeder. It will put the multi-melter into the Rhino, and then the missile launchers into the Plague Burst Crawler. So the multi-melter, we got 1 shot hitting on a 5 because we moved, and smoke launchers, but re-rolling 1s because of the ammo boxes. Oh, it hit. Wounds on a 3. It wounded.
No armor save.
D6 damage. 3.
So the Rhino is down to 7 wounds.
Then the 2 missile launchers firing at the Plague Burst Crawler are hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. There's 1 hit. Wounds on a 4.
Yeah.
Because it's toughness 8. Doesn't wound. I'll re-roll that. Nope. So I'll do this intercessor squad in front next to the 2 guys at the end. So that guy and that guy there can both see the Rhino, so they might as well have a shot at it. 2 shots hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. It's 1 hit. Wounds on a 5. Wait, wounded.
4 plus armor save. Yes.
And finally, this intercessor squad, they can all see a cultist, so they'll all shoot their bolt rifles at them. 5 shots hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Well, 3 1s to re-roll. Into 4 hits, wounding on 3s, and the 2.
Well, that's 2 dead cultists because they don't get an armor save.
Yep.
So we'll just lose some melee weapon people.
And then in the morale phase, the cultists have to take a morale check.
So adding 2 to this dice roll, 8 of course, so another 2 will run away.
Another 2 cultists flee.
Yeah, so the remaining melee guy and on one of the autoguns, so out.
And that'll be the end of my turn. So we'll be on to Death Guard, turn 2.
The first thing that might happen is my rhino might regain a wound on a 6. Oh, it did.
Hey.
That's never happened before. So first thing that happened in my movement phase, all the Plague Marines have got out the rhino and then moved up here, so there's one squad here at the front and then one behind in a kind of crescent shape. And then the rhino itself has moved over here, behind the Haemotrope Reactor. And the Noctis Blightbringer will advance to try and keep up, so he gets to roll 2 dice and go... Ooh, wow, okay. He'll just come down around here, behind this box. Next we're going to advance the cultists again, because they're nowhere near in range. 7 inches. And so the cultists have moved there, trying to vaguely hide behind the Haemotrope Reactor, and the Plague Burst Crawler has moved up there to try and get most of its guns in range. And at the end of the movement phase, we shall bring down Lord Felthius. We'll slot him in down here. In the shooting phase, once again, I'm going to play Blasphemous Machines on the Plague Burst Crawler so it can ignore penalty for moving and shooting. So we're actually going to start with this squad of 5 Plague Marines here. They're going to shoot everything at the Hell Blasters.
So that's the squad with the 2 blight launchers.
We'll do the blight launchers first, and then there'll be 3 shots hitting on 3s. Sorry, 4 shots hitting on 3s, not re-rolling 1s because I'm not near an ammo box. And a good thing, yeah. So 1 hit, wounding on a 3. No, nothing. Do a plasma gun shot next. Not going to supercharge it. Hitting on a 3, wounding on a 3. Nope. 2 bolt guns hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. Nothing. So we'll do the other Plague Marine squad at the same target. So in this squad we've got 2 plasma guns and 3 bolt guns. So again, we won't supercharge with plasma guns. 2 shots hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounding on a 3. No. And, oh, actually, technically 4 shots from bolt guns because the one on the top will use the Storm Bolter instead. Hitting on 3s. 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Oh, 2 wounds.
Yeah. Last. 3+ armour saves. Made one, failed one. I will actually re-roll one of those. That 1 into a 5, so I'm fine.
So the Plague Burst Crawler will have to shoot everything at the Hell Blasters to try and get rid of them, which isn't really what I wanted to do, but start with the 2 entropy cannons hitting on 4s, because it re-rolling 1s, yeah, because it's got an ammo box, or 2 hits. Wounding on 2s, yeah, 2 wounds, no armour save,
yep.
D6 damage each. We'll take that 1, I don't want to use my last command point on it, so it'll just kill 1.
So a Hellblaster will die, he is within range of the banner, so on a 4+ he can act. He does not.
Now D6 shots from the mortar. 5 again, that's alright. Hitting on 4s, re-rolling that 1. 3 hits, wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s. 3 wounds.
3 5+ saves. Made 1, failed 2, so...
Right, so D3 damage. 1, I'm going to have to command point that. They need to go. So last command point gone. Still only 1 damage, so it kills another Hellblaster in total.
On a 4+ he gets to act. He does. So it's this Hellblaster here in front will shoot at the Rhino. So we're within 15, so we will get 2 shots and we'll overcharge because I'm already dead. Here, 2 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s because of the captain. Only 1 hit, wounding on a 3. It does.
It does get 6+ armor save because it's obscured by the Haemotrope Reactor, and it's close enough. Nope, so 2 damage. Yeah.
It's down to 6, and this Hellblaster in front dies.
And we're just going to have to shoot the Rhino at the Hellblaster Sergeant because I want that first blood and I want them dead. So, not within 12 inches, so only 2 shots from the Combi Bolter on 3s, because, yeah, winning on 4s. 1 wound.
3+ armour save. Made it.
D6 shots from the Havoc Launcher. 5. Hitting on 4s because it's a heavy weapon and it moved. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2.
3+ armour saves. Made both.
And I'm not going to declare a charge with the Rhino, so that'll be the end of my turn.
Yep, so be on to Space Marines, turn 2. So in my movement phase, the land speed is going to stay where it is for now. Then everyone else is basically just going to shift to the right. Intercessor Squad with the Captain and the Ancient, the 1 remaining Hellblaster and the Apothecary, and the other 5 Intercessors. Then at the end of the movement phase, the Apothecary will try to revive a Hellblaster on a 4+. He does not. So we're going to start the shooting phase. The land speed is going to put all of its guns into the Rhino, just to try and get first blood really. So multi-melter, 1 shot hitting on a 3, rolling 1s. Re-rolling that 1 from the ammo boxes. Nope. And the missile launchers, 2 shots hitting on 3s. I will re-roll that 1. Into a hit. Wounding on 3s. 1.
I've got cover, so this is actually a 4+ from this point of view. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Next I'll do the Hellblaster Sergeant. He's going to shoot at the squad of Plague Marines with the blight launchers. So just realise that the Hellblaster Sergeant isn't within 15 inches of the Plague Marines, so he's actually going to shoot at the Rhino, and he will overcharge. So he's got 2 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Yeah, re-rolling that 1. He gets another hit, so 2 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
Again, got cover just about, so 6+. Oh, well, only one goes through, but that's still 2 damage.
Yep.
Down to 4.
Next, this intercessor squad is going to shoot at the plague marines with blight launchers. So the 2 guys on the end are within rapid fire range, but the other 3 aren't. So we've got 7 shots hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. And that 1. So we've got 6 hits. Wounding on 5s. 1.
4+ armor save. Yeah.
The Ancient will also shoot at that squad. You'll just have 1 shot hitting on 3 rolling 1s. You missed. And finally, this Intercessor squad will shoot at the same Plague Marines as well, but they're definitely all out of rapid fire range. So 5 shots hitting on 3 rolling 1s. And there's 2 1s. 4 hits. Wounding on 5s. Nothing. And I'm not going to declare any charges, so that'll be the end of my turn. So that's the end of Space Marines turn 2, on to Death Guard turn 3.
So we're going to try and get a wound back on the Rhino again, since that went so well last time. Oh.
Nope.
So movement over here. The Plague Marines have moved over here. This squad coming forward, and the other one around here. Lord Felthius has moved out to there. And Rhino's going to drive out on top of the pipe like that. And the Blight Ringer will advance. An extra 3 inches. That just brings him over to there. And the cultists have just squidged up a bit to try and get as invisible as possible, and the Plague Burst Crawler won't move. And then we'll be off to the shooting phase. Start with this Plague Marine squad with the plasma guns. They're going to fire everything at the Hellblaster Sergeant. We'll start with 2 plasma guns. They are within rapid fire range now, so 4 shots hitting on 3s, not supercharging. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2.
6+. Fail both, so Hellblaster Sergeant dies. On the 4+, you can act. Yes, you can. So it's a debate between shooting at Felthius or the Rhino. They're probably about the same distance anyway, so I'm going to shoot at the Rhino and see if I can't cheekily steal first blood. Hellblaster Sergeant has 2 shots hitting on 3s, you're only 1s. He's going to overcharge, obviously. Win that 1. No, he missed. Wounding on a 3. He wounded.
So it takes 2 damage.
Yeah, but then he dies, and that'll be first blood for the Death Guard. Putting him on 1 victory point.
Next, the Plague Burst Crawler will shoot everything at the Land Speeder. So we've got the entropy cannons first, 2 shots on 4s, rerolling 1s, all 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Yep, no armor save, 2d6 damage for 6, that's exactly enough.
Dead. It might blow up. It doesn't.
So obviously its other guns can't shoot, but that's because they. And then we'll do this remaining Plague Marine squad shooting everything at those intercessors. We'll start with the plasma gun, which will supercharge this time because we've got an ammo box on 3s, so 2 hits, wounding on 2s. Yep.
6+. Oh, made 1. So the wounded man dies.
Yep. And then blight launchers, 4 shots on 3s, rerolling 1s, they all hit, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
5+. Oh, made 1, failed 1.
These extra damage.
Another intercessor dies. This one probably is in range of the banner. So on a 4+, he gets to act. Nope.
And also forget the ball guns. For 4 shots on 3s, that's 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1.
3+ armor save. Nope. On this intercessor.
Then in the charge phase, Felthius will charge the squad of intercessors.
Just the intercessors.
Yeah.
10 bolt rifle shots hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s. Got 1 wrong, got 2 wrong. Oh, into a hit, so we've got 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Nope.
Then his charge distance, he needs about an 8. A 9 will be enough.
Yep.
So he gets to there. I won't charge the Rhino because it's actually holding the objective, so.
Well, he didn't declare him as a charge target, so might as well heroically intervene with the bannerman.
I suppose, yeah, may as well. And then I'll swing at the intercessors.
Yep.
4 attacks hitting on 2s. No, not rolling anything, but that's 4 hits and a death to the false Emperor. 5 hits. On 3s. 4.
6+ armor saves. Made 1, failed 3.
So d3 damage, we've got 1, so that kills 1, and the last one 2, so 2 intercessors.
So 2 intercessors on a 4+. So first intercessor gets to fight, so is the second one. They get 1 attack each, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. Oh, there's a wound.
Oh, he's right.
He's fine.
We'll consolidate.
And I got my hit backs. The intercessors might as well pile in. Yeah, and I'll do the ancient as well. He has 4 attacks. So we have 11 attacks hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. That's 7 hits, wounding on 5s. 2 wounds.
2+ armor saves. Yeah, he's fine.
So that's the end of Death Guard turn 3, and I'm just going to concede at this point, because I might be able to kill Felthius with the captain and the Posgre's special pistol, but I don't really have enough troops left to actually take out anything else, especially not the Plague Burst Crawler or all of those Plague Marines. So that'll be a Death Guard victory, and we'll recap that for you now. So that was the mission for issue 68 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. That didn't go very well. What did you think?
It went, to be honest, it went how I planned it. Yeah, I designed my army for this mission, so there was... I mean, I didn't actually realise that I would get to go first by having fewer units to deploy, but that was a happy coincidence, because I think going first, getting that 6-inch advance on the Rhino, which drove it almost right up to the objective, and also hidden from a lot of your firepower, which was kind of helpful, and then being able to shoot your stuff with the Plague Burst Crawler from a really long way away. And that's the first time we've seen the Plague Burst Crawler on this board, so I think it's the first time it's been able to do that, which was part of the reason I wanted to bring it, because I wanted to actually...
Well, we hardly ever see it. So.
Yeah, and I also knew that it's big and tough enough that if I get it to an objective, you'd struggle to shift it.
Yeah, well,
you could have more people near it, but that's why I left the cultists there, to be a screen and also just some bodies to get in the way.
I think it actually went slightly worse for you, because I think you could have killed all the Hellblasters on the land speeder turn earlier.
Yes, you're probably right. I didn't roll very well for my shooting, and even then, I reduced you to 3 characters and 6 intercessors who aren't going to achieve anything by themselves. Because other than the captain, you would have struggled to get rid of 10 Plague Marines and all Felthiers and the Plague Burst Crawler.
Don't really have anything that can counter the Plague Burst Crawler. I mean, the land speeder, technically, but the entropy cannons will swat it quite easily. You know, tried to go for the... Well, one, I took the apothecary because we hardly ever see him, and I wanted to try the Revive Hellblasters strategy. Doesn't really work very well, and there's only 5 of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, he healed somebody, so you got a wound back, but he failed to revive.
I mean, I could have swapped the 2 characters for, say, the bikes with the attack bike, and maybe sent them to try and tie up the Plague Burst Crawler, but, I mean, you probably could have just dropped off a squad of Plague Marines to head them off.
It would have given me something else to think about, I guess. I suppose the advantage of that tactic is that the board is so big that if I commit a unit in one place, it's very difficult to redeploy it, especially because it's Death Guard.
Yeah.
And apart from the Rhino, my stuff isn't that fast. If you'd forced me to divert a squad of Plague Marines, you might have had a better chance of taking the other objective.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe the Intercessors and the Hellblasters together could take up the Rhino and fell this, it's hard to say. And again, like something like the Inceptors, with their 10 power, so I would have had to downgrade the captain to a different one.
I took cultists because they're mentioned in the mission fiction. It was a risk to take them because it would potentially give away First Blood. There are not very many of them, and also actually, I mean, you just said before we started recording this that when I have the Rhino, it tends to go quite well for me.
Yeah, because you can get all your slow Plague Marines into range really quickly.
Yeah, as I said, all in all, my plan worked.
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure what army composition I could take to actually counter this, really.
We've said before, but a problem with Primaris Space Marine armies is that besides large numbers of Hellblasters, you don't have that much anti-tank firepower, unless you have repulsors, but you don't have one of those yet. Yeah, and I suppose the land speeder actually, on this side of the board, the land speeder had to move. When that happens, it becomes less good.
I guess it's nice to have another Haemotrope Reactor to have some more like big line of sight blocking terrain.
And it is actually completing the set, because if you buy a box of Haemotrope Reactors, you get 2. So
that is true.
We now have 2 Haemotrope Reactors.
And I would say that with the terrain you get, it's nice to have some big sort of set pieces to kind of block lines of sight. It makes it a bit more interesting. So you can't just shoot where you actually have to move around a bit. You can't just shoot from any position on the battlefield.
Yeah.
One brief thing on Lieutenant Keltos is, maybe we'll get rules for him in the future. It wouldn't be too hard to make up your own rules if you wanted to actually put him in. And just use the one from Dark Imperium with a sword. He'd be a pretty good proxy for Lieutenant Keltos if you wanted to make a special character out of him.
Yes, and actually, Chapter Approved 2018, the book actually has rules for making custom characters if you wanted to include them in your games. Not suitable for tournaments and things, but if you're just playing sort of casual games, then I'm sure you'll use those.
Well, I don't think there's too much more to say about this mission, so if you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave any comments. What sort of armies did you take if you played this mission, or what would you have done differently? We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.